Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, back with another live stream video to talk about Arsenal transfers. Could we be about to spend 250 million plus in transfers for only 4 new signings either this month or in the next couple of weeks? It's looking very likely as reported by a couple of sources. Obviously, as of now, it's clear which players we're looking at. It's not like usual at other transfers where you're looking at 4 or 10 or 20 different players. Right now, we only have like 4 main targets that you're looking at. That is Declan Rice, Jurrien Timber, Kai Havertz, and also Romeo Lavia. So we're talking about the latest on all 4 of them. And let me know if you sign all 4 of those players, how would you rate this window out of 10? And also, Nketiah has actually been talked about today. Could he actually end up leaving as some of you want it to be, but actually someone has talked about him potentially leaving today. So we'll be talking about that one as well. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully you had a good Tuesday. And without wasting any more time at all, let's get straight into it. And let's start with Ryan Taylor Sport, who I saw reporting about this first. So Arsenal have upped their ante in their pursuit of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber, and Romeo Lavia. The club's total outlay on new arrivals could yet exceed the 250 million mark come the end of the window. This is according to Ryan Taylor Sport. Now, obviously, I think a week ago we were told that Arsenal has 180 million to spend in this transfer window plus anything we get from sales. But looking at those 4 players in that list, that is way above 180 million. Like, especially if you end up paying 100 million for Declan Rice and around 65 or 70 for Kai Havertz, that will surpass the 180 million. Now, obviously, there's a couple of things like add-ons, and the Declan Rice one, you might end up paying like 75 or 80 million right now, and then later on we'll add that later on. But even if you put 80 for Declan Rice and then you put like 40 for Timber and maybe another 40 for Lavia and another like 60 for Kai Havertz, that surpasses 200, surpasses it well. It goes well past that. So this could be an astonishing window. We never spend that kind of money in other transfer windows. Maybe this time I've still seen some comments saying Arsenal is not a serious club, but this time it's looking like we are actually going to spend money. We are never linked to players like Declan Rice or players like Havertz of that kind of money. We are never linked to such kind of players. So this would be an exciting transfer. I'm already excited. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already excited. Like, I'm already thinking like how Arteta would use these players in the same, signing all of them in the same window. Young, exciting players, all of them basically the perfect age. You have a 19-year-old, you have like a 24-year-old, you have like a 22-year-old as well. Like, this would be absolutely perfect for us. So if we get this one done, obviously right now we are working on the harder beats. The personal terms is the harder beats, and then after you pass that, the bidding is even more tougher. After you finish the personal terms, the player and the official bids with the actual teams, after that is going to be a straight path for us. So we'll become medical FC basically. We'll hear about this one is arriving for a medical, these deals are being signed, this player will be announced this day, all the 40s and everything. After we get done with this point, we are going to be good. So I'm hearing they didn't really want to the Timber story to leak, but I don't know. Maybe it's Ajax who leaked it out, but they wanted to keep it private. But I think with this, that one is a very, very capable deal to do. I think it's actually worth around that 50 million. So I wouldn't be shocked or sad if we actually spend that money to him. And also, according to I think this is the one. According to Miguel Delaney, Arteta wants up to 200 million of business done before the summer tour, not after. Before the summer tour. I don't have the actual date, but I think it's around July 13th or 14th when you play Nuremberg. I think it could be July 13th, with the club aiming to sign Havertz, Rice, Timber, and Lavia. Some recouped through sales. Arsenal prepared to listen to offers on few players, including Nketiah. So we'll come to the second part of that. But it's not just spending 250 million. Is spending more than 200 million before the tour starts. So they want to get all the main deals done before the tour to I think Germany, and then obviously we play the Emirates Cup, we'll play the Community Shield, and then we'll also have a tour of United States of America. And you're actually playing some really good teams. You're going to play Barcelona, we're going to play Man United, you're also playing Nuremberg, you're going to play Man City in the Community Shield. So we're playing some really good teams before the season starts. Really good test to test our players out. So you want all the players that you're linked to ready for that run of fixtures, especially in the USA. You need them to fit into the system, just like we did last season with Zinchenko and Jesus and all those guys. We need it to be done very, very quickly. So if they can get 200 million plus worth of business done before the summer transfer window, then I'm guessing most of you will stop calling them, start calling Arsenal a serious club once again. So right now, negotiations, I have no problem with the negotiations going on, because you can't really say okay, let's give Rice 100 million, let's give this one 60 million, we'll end up spending 300 million. So you have to go through the negotiations. I'm still not worried about Man City with Declan Rice. Man City worried about other issues, and you're the only club going for Rice right now in terms of bids and making the bids. So I'm still confident you can get those deals done. You have to trust in these two, all these two guys plus Edu and everyone else working on the business. The moment we hit the breakthrough in most of these deals is going to be absolutely swift. We'll just be dealing with final signatures and the medicals, and boom, you're off to USA with our Germany, then USA with 4 new signings. And then after that, if you need to add another player or a second player after that, you can take time. If you already signed 4 players in June before July, you still have 2 months and a couple of days to add 1 or 2 extra players depending on what happens. That would be fantastic. I'm not going to complain about that one. Ideally, I would want at least 1 this week and then at least 2 by the end of the month. And then since the preseason starts in like the 2nd week of July, if you can get the 3rd and maybe the 4th before that, all up to you, but at least get 1 this week so that you can settle a bit, and then another one next week. Then we are good to go. And then the second part of that, they say that Arsenal prepared to listen to offers on a few players, including Nketiah. So when I talked about players who will leave Arsenal, I never really mentioned Nketiah. I expected him to stay, and also Holding, I expect him to stay somehow, mainly because of their age. And Holding, I think, has 2 years remaining on his contract. I don't see a reason why they would sell him. Maybe he should go because you're bringing in defenders, but maybe they'll just keep him in the team as a Carabao Cup player. But I expected the likes of Cedric to leave, Pablo Mari, Xhaka, Tierney, Niles, Okonkwo, Elneny, Lokonga, Balogun as well, and Pepe as well on top of that. And now we are hearing about Partey potentially leaving as well. But Nketiah could end up leaving. This would be a surprise. So how much do you guys think we should be getting for Eddie Nketiah? Do you think we can get 30, 40 million for him, or do you think he's a 20 million pound player, 50 million pound player? Even if he is, all these other teams are able to get 40, 50 million for players who don't even play games for their teams. So if you can get a significant amount for someone like Nketiah, if he gets sold, and then are we also going to sell Balogun in the same window? That would be shocking. That would mean we are potentially going for another striker, because even if Havertz and Trossard can play there, in terms of out-and-out striker, we can't only have Jesus, and Jesus is not really he prefers coming back for the ball. So I think we might end up getting a striker like you guys want us to do, maybe a backup striker or a tall striker or a physical striker, something like that. And that would be perfect window. If you get these 4 players plus a backup striker, I'd be very, very happy. Like, that would be a perfect window. Or ideally, someone like a Diaby, even though it's going to cost a lot of money, so it's looking impossible, but someone like that who can play as a right winger, help Saka, and also play as a striker, that would be absolutely ideal. So I don't know how the Nketiah potentially leaving deal could affect Balogun. Would he decide to stay, or are we going to get rid of both on permanent transfers? I can't see Nketiah going out on loan. It's either you keep him or sell him. Balogun, it's open to all 3 choices. You can keep him, you can sell him, or you can loan him out again. So for Nketiah, it's going to be interesting. But if you can get a bit of money from that, our sales are not going to really bring a lot of money. Pablo Mari is going to bring like 5 million, something like that. Xhaka can bring us 15 to 20. If we sell Tierney, we should be getting like 40 or 45. Niles is gone on a free. Cedric is gone on a free. Okonkwo, maybe 5 million or something. Elneny will probably go on a free. If you can get rid of Lokonga, either sell or loan him out. I don't know if you can sell him. How much are you going to get for him? 20, 25. Balogun, you can get a lot of money for him. 40. I actually want 50 for him. 40 million plus add-ons or something like that. And if you also get rid of Pepe and Partey, I can bring in a lot of money. So let's actually, Arsenal stand as ultimate mathematicians. Like, I'm always doing calculations every time because of Arsenal. Like Partey, if Partey ends up going to Saudi Arabia, especially, you can get 45 million for him, or even 50, as I'm hearing from the talks. Pepe is not going to bring that much money. Let's say 20. So let's make it 70. So Partey 50, Pepe 20. Balogun, let's use 40. That's 110. Pablo Mari is only going to bring like 5 million, 115. Let's say Xhaka 15, that's already 130. If you also sell Tierney, that's 170 or 75 or something like that. So in terms of sales, we can get 275 million, and I've not counted Nketiah yet. So if we also decide to sell Nketiah, that is like 200 million. And I'm being nice in terms of the fees, because I could decide to just be like Chelsea and say Pepe 40 million, Partey 70, Balogun 80. Like, we can decide and be like Chelsea and those teams and ask for crazy amounts of money for our players. But if we sell about 8-9 players, Tierney, Xhaka, Pablo Mari, Balogun, Pepe, Partey. I would personally keep Partey and I'd personally loan out Balogun. I wouldn't sell him. But if they go according to their plans and sell all of them, you can get at least 200 million. And if they are going to add that to whatever we've been told we have to spend, that 250 million, that is like 450 million. That would be crazy. So you have to balance your books as well. So there's no reason why, especially if we get rid of all of those players I've mentioned, I would not be surprised if we ended up getting like 6 new faces at Arsenal. There's 4 that you're currently talking about, but there's still others that could happen. Maybe a backup for Xhaka, maybe a backup striker, maybe a loan player coming in on a loan deal, maybe a free, maybe you're going to get a free agent, someone like a Gundogan doesn't necessarily have to be in, it could be someone else on a free. So I wouldn't be surprised if we can get like if we get 6 players. So that would give us 2 months to work on getting 2 players if we get the 4 players through the door right now. So that would be exciting. That for me, that would be an exciting window. You're bringing in Timber, someone who fits the system. Declan Rice as well. You're breaking a transfer for that. You've never really hit anywhere near even 80 million in terms of transfers. And then you're bringing an exciting midfield in terms of Lavia. And then Havertz, many people don't like him, but according to reports, he's going to fit in a lot of different positions. So maybe it could work out better for us than what it did for him at Chelsea. So let's talk about those individual players. What's the latest on Declan Rice? So obviously we made a bid earlier today, but it was rejected. That was how much is that? 75 million plus 50 million add-ons. That was rejected by West Ham. We expected it to be rejected. So that brings the total to 90 million. They're saying that the add-ons are unrealistic. So maybe Arsenal have said, we are going to give you 75 million and then we're going to give you 15 million if we win the Champions League and the Premier League. Now West Ham are looking at that like, nah, Arsenal is not going to win the Champions League. That's unrealistic. Now, I do agree the Champions League one, that's unrealistic because we've never really won it. So you can't really tell a team that if we win the Champions League, we're going to give you extra money. They won't believe you because we've only come close to winning the Champions League once in 2006, leave alone actually winning one. So I do agree like that is unrealistic. Maybe the Premier League, since Man City is around, maybe they feel like Man City is definitely going to win the title, and Arsenal is not going to be winning the title next season. So they've also called that unrealistic. But if you can work out a deal in terms of add-ons, you can tell them if Declan Rice starts 30 games in the Premier League for us next season, we're going to add for you another 2 million. If let's say scores 5 goals in the season, or 4 goals next season, you're going to get an extra 1 million. You can say if he makes like 10 appearances in the Champions League or something, 8 to 10 appearances, you're going to get a certain add-on as well. If Arsenal finish in the top 3, you can also get a certain add-on as well. Maybe I think that is realistic. It's very possible for Rice to play 30 games for us in the Premier League, 30 starts. It's very possible for him to start 8 to 10 Champions League games. It's possible for us to finish in the top 3, and it's also possible for him to score 3 or 4 goals next season. So those would be realistic add-ons, but we never get to actually know the add-ons that they've decided on. We'll never actually get to know. We'll just hear the deal has been done, 15 or 20 million add-ons, and then we'll never hear about what the add-ons actually are unless it's leaked out. But we'll probably never hear about it. So if they've rejected the 75 plus 15 million, so what is the next step we can go to? We can potentially go to 80 million plus 15 million add-ons. That takes the total to 95. I feel like they could accept that one. Or because they want a lot of money up front. So the 75 one is the one that is disturbing them. And also, the 15 one is also disturbing them because of unrealistic targets. Or you can call them targets. But the 75 million one is the one I feel like also is affecting them a lot because they want that money straight up, like right now, so that they can also improve their squad for the Europa League. But I think if we can get to 80 million plus 15 million add-ons, or I don't know, 78 million upfront and then maybe 80 million add-ons, depending on the structure. I think that we don't actually have to get to 100 million. If we get to like 95, 96, they could accept it, because especially if they feel like Man City will not come in for Rice, they'll be like, can we really afford to let Rice go next season for like 30 million, 35 million? Are we going to threaten Arsenal to leave this deal? And maybe they'll feel desperate and be like, you know what, maybe there's no other team that is coming in for him. Let's give Arsenal Rice for 92 million, 93 million. So we have to wait and see what happens with that one. But I'm assuming the next bid will be something like 78 million plus 50 million add-ons, because they're not just going to do whatever most of us wanted them to do. I actually don't want them to do that. I don't want them to say, here's 120 million, let's give the player. I don't want them to do that. You cannot agree, you cannot let other teams bully you in the transfer window. You have to show your negotiation powers. So negotiation powers would be, if you can get this to like 77 million and plus maybe 50 million add-ons and they still accept it, and then throw in a couple of realistic targets in the 50 million add-ons and then they accept it, that would be perfect. But if we let them bully us, we can take that up to 90 million plus like 20 million add-ons, and that would be too much. That would be literally overpaying. So hopefully that is a total of 90, 93, 94 would get it done. Hopefully, if we can throw in some realistic targets in add-ons and also 3 or 4 million more in terms of the initial bid of 75 or initial payment. So let's see what happens with that one. That will be an interesting one. I have a feeling, today is Tuesday, I have a feeling that one will be done by Friday. I don't think they're going to wait for it until next week. I think this one we'll hear a breakthrough by Thursday or Friday, and then maybe by next week, Monday, that deal will be done. So the moment you hear a breakthrough about it, perfect. That will calm every Arsenal fan down. You'll just know it's all about the medicals and the signature. Even if he's on holiday, that is fine. As long as they accept our bid and we've passed that bridge, I'll be very, very happy. So let's see what happens in terms of Declan Rice. What about Jurrien Timber? Well, according to latest reports from Ryan Taylor Sport, once again, Nketiah wants to sign a tactically flexible hybrid defender capable of playing at centre-back, full-back, potentially even midfield if required. The idea is that the club would virtually be signing 2 players for the price of 1, securing cover and competition for William Saliba was among the top topics at the top of Arsenal's agenda this summer. Jurrien Timber ticks all of those boxes. So a lot to get through there. So you're basically signing a defender who can play as a centre-back, a full-back, and also midfield. You're covering a lot of positions. Nowadays, especially the last 2-3 years, we've been signing a lot of players who can play different positions. Like starting with Tomiyasu, 3-4 different positions at the back. Ben White can play 2-3 positions as well. I'm telling you, even Ramsdale can potentially play as a central midfielder if he wanted, because of his passing ability. If we wanted him to play in midfield, we are now bringing someone like a Havertz. They've said they can play like 5-6 different roles. If you look at players like Nelson, can play in either wing. Trossard can play in several positions as well. So all of the players that you're signing recently can play in several positions. It's not like back in the day where you have Clichy, who cannot play as a centre back and he cannot play as a midfield or anything like that. Is literally left back. That is it. We are past those days. So these days, it's also great to have players who can cover a lot of positions, especially depending on injuries and also just being unpredictable. If we play, let's say Chelsea today. If we play Chelsea today, we can do anything. We can start with Jesus up front, Trossard on the left, Xhaka on the right. We can have Odegaard and Havertz, both of them behind the striker. Or you can have Smith Rowe there, or you can have it more defensive. You play Declan Rice and Lavia if you sign all of those players. Or you can have Trossard in that Xhaka role and ask him to push forward Odegaard, basically as 2 number 10s. And then the very next week, if you play, let's say, Sheffield United away or at home, they're expecting you to do the same thing. No, you can do something different. This time you can start Timber as a centre back. You can push Ben White back to be a centre back. I do prefer my defense to be more consistent. I don't usually like a lot of changes in defense. But if it's like for like White and Timber and Saliba, I wouldn't understand that. But the rest of it, I need it to be stay the same. Like Gabriel and Ramsdale, I need them to stay in the starting lineup for most of the games. I don't usually like changing the defense around. But the other positions, especially forward players, you can start with Havertz, you can start with Xhaka, you can start with Odegaard. Tomorrow they think you're going to start with Martinelli. Boom, Smith Rowe is there. The next day they think Trossard is there, but you start with both Jesus and another striker in the same team at the same time. So it's also great in terms of being unpredictable, getting players like Timber into the team, 3-4 different positions. You can even play him as a midfielder if you want because of his ball playing ability. The idea is that the club would virtually be signing 2 players for the price of 1. That's the other thing. Instead of getting a centre back and a right back, why not get a centre back who can also play as a right back? And he can do it easily. It's not like he's going to struggle doing that. He's going to do it easily because he already is trained like that, like since he was in the academy. So he's been brought up in playing those 2 positions, and his ball playing ability is great for all of those positions. He's not afraid like to actually control the ball in midfield and try and look for the pass. So, some other players, usually people use Elneny as an example. When he gets the ball, he'll just pass the ball sideways very quickly because he doesn't want to lose the ball. But if you have someone like a Timber pushing forward, he can actually get the ball and have a look around. Am I going to pass it to Odegaard? Is Xhaka free? Is Martinelli a better pass? Someone who can actually look at different possibilities without being too scared of losing the ball. Someone who's comfortable on the ball. I'm telling you, Mertesacker would never do that. Like Mertesacker with the ball for 10 seconds, like to control the ball and look for a pass, that would be suicide. Like Mertesacker would never do that for you. He's a great captain. Thank you for winning us the FA Cup and everything. But in terms of things like passing, Mertesacker would not really do that for you. So I'm really excited by the Timber signing. Also in that same tweet, he also goes on to say, securing cover and competition for William Saliba was among the topics of at the top of Arsenal's agenda this summer. Correctly so, because we suffered. When Saliba went out, we suffered. Gabriel had to play with a new partner. Like we were losing pace, we were losing ball playing ability at the back, we were losing someone who had played more than 30 games in a season. We were basically losing one of the best centre backs in the sea of the Premier League campaign. Like he has been included in the Premier League team of the season, Saliba. So we basically lost that in our team. So that definitely hurt us. So we don't want that to happen again. We don't want a situation where Saliba is injured and then you bring up a player like Holding, who you don't know if he's even going to be there next season, or like no one trusts him basically. Very few people trust Rob Holding coming in as a defender. So we want a situation where if you're removing Saliba, Timber comes in and it's basically the same thing. Just like I've been saying about right wing and left wing, like right back and left wing recently. Like I don't care who starts between Trossard and Martinelli. I love them both. I don't care who starts at right back, whether it's Tomiyasu, Ben White. I love them both. Same thing with left back from this past season, whether it's TNU Zinchenko. Basically the same thing. So I want the same thing for the center backs as well. Center backs was not top of my agenda personally, but since we dropped off in form a lot. Like Saliba went out, he got injured against Sporting, and the number of goals we were conceding 3 goals at home to Southampton, another 2 goals against Liverpool, another 3 goals at home against Brighton, 2 goals against West Ham. Like the minimum goals we were conceding per game was 2. Like the moment Saliba got injured, like I'm pretty sure we considered like I don't know how many goals we considered in total. I don't remember the exact number, but I'm guessing half of them were between August and like April, and then the other half was just like 1 month, April and May. Like our defensive qualities went like out of the window. Like after Saliba got injured, terrible. And we don't want to get ourselves in that situation again. We don't want a situation where a defender gets injured or one player gets injured and you fall apart or you have to change the whole system because one player is injured. No, you want to have at least two players each position who can play that kind of role. So I'm quite happy about getting him to the team. Obviously, Timber, and did I miss anything here? Yeah, they're obviously going to say Jurrien Timber ticks all of those boxes. He can help Ben White, he can help Saliba, he can ball play the way he wants to build from the back. If he receives the ball from Ramsdale, he's not going to make mistakes every single time. If he's going to make a mistake maybe once in a season and he doesn't really have to as well, he can be perfect in terms of passing from the back. From what you've seen in terms of stats, he's quite good at that. So very excited to see what happens with Jurrien Timber and Declan Rice. Which two have I not talked about? Obviously, Kai Havertz. Again, let me ask you, which deal do you think is going to be completed fast? In case you didn't watch the earlier stream, which deal do you think is going to be completed fast? Rice, Havertz, Timber, or Lavia? So for Havertz, we again bid, I think, around 60 million. Chelsea still want maybe you can compromise around 65 million, but hopefully they can come to their minds and be like, this 60 million is okay. They paid a lot of money for him, so they're kind of trying to get it back, but they don't deserve to get it back. Like he's not been at the top of his game at all. But from what you're hearing, he can play several positions for Atende do. According to ESPN, he can be played as a number 10 instead of Odegaard. He can be played as a number 8 in that Xhaka role. He can be played in the 3 attacking positions, in the Martinelli role, in the Jesus role, in the Saka role. He can play in a 4-3-3 and a 4-2-3-1 apparently as well. I expected him to play in a 4-2-3-1, but apparently he can also play in a 4-3-3 comfortably. If that is the case, if Havertz comes to Arsenal and plays like the Bayer Leverkusen Havertz, then people should be scared, and it's not Arsenal fans who should be scared, it's the opposition fans who should be scared. So let's see what happens with this deal. Are we going to end up paying 60 million, or are you going to make a bid for him? Or are we going to pull out of that deal and be like, no, maybe it's too much money they're asking for, let's try and get someone else? We have to wait and see what happens with that one as well. And what about Romeo Lavia? They're talking about around 45 million. Let's see how quickly we can get this deal done. Out of all these 4 deals, this is the one that I'm least confident in terms of happening. It's kind of like the easiest one, yes, but in terms of priority, I don't think is our priority. I think they're trying to get Rice and Havertz fast, and Timbers emerged all of a sudden. I think if they don't get Lavia, they'd be like, you know what, that is fine. We can get someone else. But I'd love someone like Lavia's played in the Premier League in terms of second choice. I definitely like it. But if you missed out on him, maybe they have other potential candidates for that position in their books that they could go for. So let's see what happens that one as well. But it could be a transfer window where we spend 250 million plus in the first 2-3 weeks. That would be incredible. That would be absolutely incredible for us. So let's recap that once again from Ryan Taylor Sport and also Miguel Delaney. According to Ryan Taylor Sport, Arsenal have upped their ante in the pursuit for Declan Rice and Kai Havertz, Jurrien Timber, and Romeo Lavia. The club's total outlay on new arrivals could yet exceed 250 million mark come the end of the window. I'm pretty sure we've never gotten anywhere close to that money in a one transfer window. I don't think we've ever gotten anywhere close to 200 million in one transfer window. And I don't think that would be the end of our business. And also, according to Miguel Delaney, Arteta wants up to 200 million of business done before the summer tour. So that is how many days? Maybe 20 days, I think. 20 days remaining. I think they're going to get back to training like in London Colony around July 5th or 6th there, whichever Monday is around there. So if they want them right in for the training or just for the tour, like maybe 20 days or something like that. So if you can get 3 or 4 deals done in the next 20 days, that would be incredible. Remember, because I'm still seeing people saying Liverpool have already signed McAllister. It's just them and Brighton. Like, no one else has signed anyone. Tottenham, nothing. Man United, nothing. Chelsea, nothing yet. Like, if it was that easy, they'd already gotten Caicedo by now. If it was that easy to get transfers done, Man United had already gotten Kim Min-jae by now. They've already gotten Mount by now. It's not easy to do negotiations, especially for expensive players. You have to take time with it. But if we get all these 4 players by July, we've already won the transfer window. Whichever players they get, those are the teams. So very, very exciting times. Let's get the deals, at least a couple of deals done, so that the excitement levels just rocket up. I know there's still some people who are a bit negative. I can't blame you, because things have gone wrong over the past couple of years. You think you're getting Tielemans, you don't get him. You think you're getting Mudryk, you don't get him. You think you're getting Asimawar, you think you're not getting him. You think you're getting Vlahovic, you don't get him. I understand, but this time it feels different. I don't know if it's because you're in the Champions League. I don't know if it's because we competed for a Premier League title. I don't know. That does genuinely feel different right now, especially also with the new contracts that we've given to these players. Things do feel different. So that's the latest on the transfer news. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comment section. If you can get this for, says Diane, would be perfect. Would be perfect for us. Let's see. Thank you for watching once again, Partey, Emmanuel. Nice seeing you guys all here. Mwewa, Manuel, Partey. Let's see. Partey says, let them splash the money. We really want the Premier League and more. Yeah, Premier League and more. That would be exciting. Like that more. There's a couple of trophies we've never seen Arsenal winning. Carabao Cup, like since 1990s. The Champions League, we've never seen it happening. FA Cup, we've won a lot. Premier League, 20 years, man. So it will be very exciting if you can get one of those trophies this season. Not just the Carabao Cup. The other two, you know, the ones I'm talking about. Let's see. I want to see the full list of Arsenal by. All players who bid for everything is rejected and are really not happy. Obviously, they're going to reject it, Arno. That's what you guys need to understand. The transfer window is not a mall. You don't just enter and pick soap and juice and crisps or chips wherever you're watching this from, and then you just put them in a trolley and then you just go and pay. No, you have to negotiate. If you just go and you say, how much do you want for Declan Rice? 120 million. Here, we are going to give you that. Timber, how much do you want? 70 million. Here is the 70 million as well. You're going to spend 1 billion for 4 players. You have to do negotiations. You have to. And you cannot just go and say, okay, right now, West Ham want 100 million. We are going to give them 100 million. You cannot do it like that. If you do it like that, there's no guarantee they're going to accept it. They can just be like, Arsenal have given us 100 million. That's not enough. Let's ask for 120 million because they have the money. They're bidding 100 million. We're not going to give them the player. We're going to ask for another 20 million. You can't let the other teams bully in a transfer window. I know people are afraid of Man City. I'm not worried about Man City coming in for Rice. I don't think they really need him, and I don't think they're going to come for him. That is a tactic the other teams are going to use, and Man City are probably going to use just to scare Arsenal. Now, the moment you say Man City have come in for Rice, oh my goodness, how much do you want? 110 million? Here you go. The other players that you want to sign, Chelsea be like, so Arsenal are scared of Man City coming in for players. Okay. You know what? We've changed our minds. Havertz is not going to be 60 million. We're going to want 80 million. And you know what? Man City actually want him as well. So if you don't pay 80 million right now, you're not going to get the player. And then what? You also pay 80 million for Havertz, and then you go to Timber as well. They tell you the same thing. Real Madrid is into the wanting the player as well. You know what? You're also going to pay 80 million for the player. It cannot work like that. Like, if it was that easy to do transfers, tell me, why have Chelsea not signed Caicedo yet? Why have Man United not signed Mount yet? Like, there's a lot of teams that want players. Why have Tottenham not signed Raya yet from Tottenham? From Brentford? Why have they not signed Maddison yet? Newcastle, most of you say Newcastle have money. Why have they not signed any player yet then? It's not easy to do the transfers. It's not just wake up in the morning and sign 4 players. You have to understand. You have to be patient. I know what affects Arsenal fans is the fact that you didn't get Mudryk and Vlahovic, but things are different right now. We've been competing for a Premier League title and you're back in the Champions League. We have a better pool than we had the last couple of years. So I don't agree. It's okay to have a different opinion. It's totally okay. But comments like this, I'm like, what do you want him to do? Do you want him to just go and pay 100 million for Rice and then go and pay 70 million for Havertz and then go and pay 60 million for Timber? That's not how transfers work. Otherwise, the transfer window would have been 3 days. Get all your players done, and the transfer window would have been closed. There's a reason it's 3 months, 3.5 months. Time to negotiate, time to look at your players, time to discuss. There's always time for discussions. Transfer window is not a mall where you just pick up things and put in a trolley and you go pay. You have to take time with it. You have to, and it's only, as a matter of fact, it's only 5 days into the transfer window. You know, a week is not even over. We are going to get Declan Rice. Do not try. I'm still 92% confident we're going to get. I'm not even worried about Arsenal signing Declan Rice. I want us to get him for as low as we can. You don't want to just go and pay money. It's not as easy as just paying money. Otherwise, on top of that, you're going to end up paying 100 million for players like Anthony, and then look at Man United right now with Anthony. You have to exercise your negotiating power. That's what you need to do. You cannot let teams bully you. The thing of, like, Aaron Ramsey, we give away Aaron Ramsey for free, and then the very next zone, Juventus tried to sell him to us for 60 million. That is being disrespected and bullied in the transfer window. Let's not let teams do that. But on the other side, if you end up negotiating the Rice deal and you get him for 85, 90 million, teams will be like, this Arsenal team is really serious in terms of negotiating. And Chelsea will be like, oh, if we ask for 70 million for Havertz, Arsenal can just go away. They have other players they can get. And is there any other team that is going to pay us 70 million for Havertz? I don't think so. So let's take that 55 million from Arsenal. You have to exercise your pool. If it gets to a couple of weeks and then they're still not budging, or you actually do indeed hear genuinely that a team like Man United are in for him, then you can get into a bidding war. But I don't even think Chelsea or Man United or Man City are going to even bid for him at all. Man City already getting Kovacic. I don't think they're even going to get for going to come in for Rice. That is a tactic from West Ham to try and get us to pay more money. Potentially a tactic from Man City to try and get us to not get the better players because they don't want us to compete with them again next season. So I don't agree with the comments that say suck Edu because they've not signed a player. Tell me, there's 20 teams in the Premier League. How many of them have signed a player? Or you can go to Real Madrid and Barcelona and all those other teams, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus. How many of them have signed players? You can only mention like 3. Just because Liverpool have signed McAllister and Real Madrid have signed Bellingham, that is them. There's different ways to move in the transfer window. You don't have to get 4 players because Real Madrid got Bellingham. That's not how it works. You have to negotiate. I enjoy what you're doing. Keep doing what you know. I appreciate it. Umedim, if I'm saying your name right. But I do appreciate your opinion, though. I know I have no problem with having a different opinion. How sure are you that Arsenal gonna spend that money wasting too much time on one player can amplify other clubs? Again, what do we mean wasting time? It's been 5 days. What do we mean wasting time? 5 days is not wasting time. You cannot get a 100 million deal done within 5 days. That is impossible. You cannot get it done within 5 days. And on top of that, there's other things getting in the way. There's the international break that has now ended. There's other stuff getting on the way. There was a Champions League finals or an FA Cup final if you're going to target players from those teams. Like, it's only been 5 days. How many teams have signed players? I'm sure people are just looking at Liverpool just because Liverpool have signed McAllister. Why have we not signed Rice? It's a different situation. We are dealing with a player, with a team that wants 100 million plus for their player. You have to negotiate. You cannot just say, okay, fine, you want 200 million, we're going to give you 100 million plus add-ons. What add-ons do you want? If he plays 10 games, okay, fine. If he plays 10 games, you're going to add another 20 million. That's not how it works, man. You have to negotiate for players. Again, transfer window is not a mall. You have to negotiate for your players. Diana says the thing is Edu and also looking at other players. That's why it's taking long for us to sign. But also, I'm curious about it's because big teams want to hijack our targets. I'm not worried about in Man City hijacking Declan Rice. Man City are not going to get Declan Rice, and I've said that multiple times. So I'm that confident to say that Man City are not going to get Declan Rice. Isaac says we should go for Alexis as the first signature. Nah. I've sat down and I've thought about it. Sentimental stuff. Not now, man. Not now. Especially the way he left Arsenal. It might not have been his fault because he wanted to win titles and everything, but him going to Man United and everything. And there's always a bad taste of how he left Arsenal. So it's not always green on the other side, you know. So he's doing well for his career. Let him stay there. And I'm enjoying his himself. Arsenal fans, let's contribute 1 million each, if only, Zulu. If only. We buy a striker who is taller and a sharp UFA, if not for Chula. You don't even have to spend 1 million. Just like a couple of wherever you are, whether it's a couple of dollars or pounds or shillings or naira or rand, wherever you are, just a little bit. And it would be enough for us to buy a backup striker, but I still think they're going to get one. Joker says Eddie worth 45 to 50 million. I mean, today's market, yes, why not? Like if people are asking for 80 million for Mason Mount, yeah, 50 million for Eddie Nketiah. And you know what? Don't forget, plus add-ons. Now, these days, everyone wants add-ons. 50 million plus add-ons for Eddie Nketiah as well. Because I'm tired of us selling our players on a cheap. Because are you seeing how teams are bullying us or trying to bully us, the likes of West Ham? We also cannot let our players go on a free unless we are going to bring in someone like an Eddie Nketiah in that Declan Rice deal. Let's wait and see. Arsenal should struggle for Rice because it will fix Arsenal. Arsenal, yeah, it should definitely fix our midfield. Now, if our team hijacks the deal, then we start depressed again. Arsenal waste a lot of time. Anu, relax. We are not wasting time. We are 5 days into the transfer window. They have to do negotiating. It's not easy to do a 100 million deal. Like, you know what? I'd like all of us to be given one transfer window to operate. I would want to see how it feels. Like I always some of us feel like it is just like FIFA and Football Manager, where you just place a bid and you get the player and you go on playing and all that. I don't think it's as easy as most of us imagine. Like you just wake up and here's 100 million, we get it done. If you pay 100 million for Declan Rice or 110, if our budget is indeed 180 million or 200 million, you're going to get 2 players and then that's it. Again, let me make this example. If we have 100 million to buy players, well, let's use 200. If we have 200 million to buy players, and then West Ham want 100 million for Rice, and Brighton want 100 million for Caicedo, you cannot just go and say, okay, West Ham, here's 100 million, Brighton, here's 100 million. And then you'll have 0 remaining and you've spent 200 million. Because I've also seen people saying it's only 2 million, it's only 5 million, just go and give them that 5 million. That 5 million could be the difference between you getting a backup striker and not. if you end up negotiating that Declan Rice deal to 85, and then you negotiate that Caicedo deal to 75, all of a sudden right there, you've saved 40 million. Instead of paying 200 million, you've paid 160 million. And all of a sudden you have 40 million more to spend on a player like Timber. That is why you have to negotiate. Unless your owner, again, I can't really blame the owner because you're spending the money right now. But again, don't use Chelsea as an example. People are also looking at Chelsea. Chelsea spent 600 million. That they are the only team to spend 600 million in one transfer window, two transfer windows. You don't want to go bankrupt. You don't again, another thing also here, it's not your money. I know it's not our money. I wish it was our money, but it's not our money, yes. But as an Arsenal fan, I don't look at it like it's not my money, spend it however you want it. No, like I'm really connected to Arsenal in whichever way. Like every time they spend money, I feel like it is mine because I'm really connected to Arsenal. So I don't want them to just spend 200 million on Declan Rice and then after 1 year it's a flop. It will hurt the team and it will hurt us as fans. So I'm never really looking at it as I think that is a poor argument. It's not your money. I know it's not our money. So it doesn't necessarily mean that's why I want them to just spend 200 million for a particular player because it's not my money. No. What if in the next couple of years we are banned? It's going to affect us all because of how stupidly we spent our money. So I want them to spend the money, yes, but I want them to spend it in a correct way because I'm still an Arsenal fan and I'm connected to Arsenal every single way. So I don't want them to just pay whichever money for whichever player. Partey should be 55 million and above, says Jeremy, especially if he's going to Saudi Arabia. You know what? 70 million. You guys have money, 70 million plus add-ons later on for Thomas Partey. Like if he goes for that kind of money, 55, 60, then maybe I would understand because that money can be used a lot elsewhere. And then you can get younger players because whichever way, I don't think, even if Partey was to stay, I don't think he's going to stay for a second season. I think if he stays, it's just going to be for this season, and then we're probably going to sell him next season. I don't think we're going to run down his contract until it goes out on a free. So we have to wait and see. But if you can get that kind of money, then maybe. But I'd still love to keep him at Arsenal. It would be ideal to keep him. Here we go again. Lee, how are you? Arsenal want these players, but do all this all on taking time. We're not taking too much time. It's only 5 days. Relax. I know it's only Man City that is worrying you. There's no other team that is going to hijack the Rice deal. Man United are busy trying to get taken over by Qatar. Chelsea are busy trying to sell players before July 1st. Tottenham are not going to be that kind of money for Rice. Even Newcastle, from what I'm hearing, they're not going to spend that much money this summer transfer window. So the only why is Man City, and Man City are busy with other stuff. Man City don't really need Rice in their midfield. I'm not really worried about them coming in for Declan Rice at all, really, at all. I'm not worried about Man City. Is Partey going, says Simon? It's looking likely. We've given him permission to speak to Saudi Arabia. Now, we never know. We'll never know why. We don't know if it's maybe all the drama that has been going on the last 1 year. Maybe Thomas Partey wants to get out of England and have a peaceful life elsewhere. Or maybe Arsenal do not want to be connected to any allegations and they want to get rid of him. I don't know. Whichever it is, I would have wanted to keep him because he's a really important player. But I think that is definitely out of our control. So you have to just wait and see what happens with that. But if we get rid of him, let's hope we do replace him sufficiently because he's a very important player in our team. And on top of that, in terms of attacking, he can give you 3-4 goals, and that's not like he did last season. So it's not only going to be solid for you midfield, distribution, ball distribution, just midfield wise, absolutely perfect. Anu says, why is it doing the likes always putting Arsenal fans on pressure during the transfers? Another thing, I don't really think they look at fans in terms of let's do it quickly because Glenn and Anu want Rice to be signed quickly. I don't think they look at the fans in terms of negotiations because if they are looking at what fans were saying, we would have had like 100 players in the team right now. So I don't think they look at us, but I don't think it's pressurizing us being 5 days into the transfer window. Again, I'm still waiting for an answer. How many teams have bought players? Can you tell me who Tottenham have bought? Who Man United have bought? Who Chelsea have bought? No one, because you have to do negotiations. Let's see. Don says Arsenal want to make a very big mistake in terms of what deal. I hope and pray Partey stays. Says Musa is it's unfair the way some of our fans keep criticizing him in the latter part of the season. Yeah, I don't. he's the player that disappointed me the most in terms of finishing the season, but he was not the only one. Like nearly everyone made a mistake, like especially in the last 5 games. So I don't really blame him alone. But maybe he's looking at it like if he's the one who wants to sell him, maybe he's looking at it like he's the most experienced, one of the most experienced players, and he let us down. Blah blah blah. I don't know. Don says, I agree with you. Joshua says, I don't see Arsenal finishing in top 2 or 3. We were supposed to keep our best 11 and bring some backup. I mean, I think it was always expected that Xhaka was going to go. And a lot of people still say that we can get a better player than Xhaka. The Partey one is the one that is all over the place as of now. Lavia, because his team went down, so they won't. I'm sorry if the internet has gone down, and they won't reject us like these fake rivals. Why do they want 45 and 50 million for teams that are relegated? Like the market has gone crazy. Like you get relegated and still get 70 million for your players. That's crazy. Rejected FC. Carla, you saying rejected FC? Again, for the Rice one, if you had gone for 100 million as the first bid, they would have still said no. Let the media not lie to you that they would have said yes. They would have said no, and then they're like, Arsenal have 100 million. Let's ask for 110. How about that? They wouldn't have just given us the player. For some reason, West Ham fans hate Arsenal. For some reason, I don't know why, because I never really look at. I'm never bothered about West Ham. For some reason, they hate Arsenal, and the fans don't want him to join Arsenal, and maybe West Ham themselves don't want Rice to join Arsenal. They just want as much money as they can if they have to sell him to Arsenal. So they want to take as much money away from us as possible. So if we can negotiate this deal and get a price that we want, then we've exercised our negotiating power, and then we'll be happy. At the end of the day, we might end up paying 95 or that 200 million, but I'm happy with the negotiating. Like I'm not in a hurry with the Rice deal, but I still wanted to get done this month. I definitely still wanted to get done this month. I don't care if any team signs or not. I'm only concerned about my team. No problem. I appreciate that, but I've seen some people saying that why are we not signing players? Liverpool have signed players. I've seen comments like that. Liverpool have signed McAllister, Brighton have signed a couple of other players, and then which other team has signed a player? That is what I'm asking. So I'm just saying it's not easy to get transfers done, as people are saying. If it was easy, everyone would have already bought a player by now, and the transfer window will be closing tomorrow. Since it's so easy to get deals done, you'd have finished it. And the preseason is still 23 days away, so there's still time to get deals done. And it's not like we're also not making progress. It's not like we've made one bid and then we're stuck there. Like you have to go slowly. You have to try and cover those deals slowly. But after we get done with the bids being accepted, then it's going to be a smooth path. Don't worry, guys. You will be here. We'll be here in the next couple of days. I know Stanislas, the guys are always silly. Don't worry. We'll be here and I'll be like, I told you. Let's wait for a couple of days. I believe that as well, Paul. At the end of the day, they know what they're doing, what is good for Arsenal. Northampton Town fan. Look, interesting. I've never met a Northampton fan town. Thank you for being here. Arsenal don't have the credibility to spend heavily like Chelsea. That is true. We've never really spent like Chelsea. But yes, I can also say Chelsea don't have the Champions League football like Arsenal. That usually matters, huh? How the tables have turned. Tell me why, Josh. Tell me why. Again, that is not from if you're taking it from last season, that statement is not true, Richard. But if you're looking at the previous seasons before that, yes. Let them be serious about Timber and Rice, says Yaya. Again, it looks like I'm being mean, but everything. But what tells us that they're not being serious? Like they're putting in the bids. If you're not putting in the bids and you're just saying you want a player, then that means you're not serious. But if you're actually making sending the bids and negotiating the deal, that means you're serious about the player. If it's just saying that you want a player, then I can say you're not serious about the player. Arsenal only need to add to this squad, not sell players. And for me, Declan Rice is not worthy of the amount West Ham is requesting. Says Yusuf. Yes, he's overpriced, but I think he's not overrated. I think he's definitely going to change our midfield. So I really wanted to get done. I want Arsenal to miss out on Rice because it's not making any sense. Come on now. Like, if you miss out on Rice right now, that would be wasting time. I don't think we're going to miss out on Rice. Like, again, 92% confident you're not going to miss out on Rice. I'll be happy if Timber and Rice are signed. I think Edu must prioritize those two first, then Havertz. I think they've prioritized Rice and Havertz, and then maybe Timber is third or fourth. Lavia is good, and I hope Southampton won't make it difficult for us to get him. 35 to 40 million will be good business. 100 million for Rice, 45 million for Timber, 60 million for Havertz, 40 million for Lavia. How much is that? 245. I mean, you're being told you're going to spend that money, but what if you can negotiate that, Vusi? What if you can negotiate the Rice deal to 90, and then negotiate Timber one to 40, and then negotiate Havertz to 55, and negotiate Lavia to 35 or 30? You've saved like 30 million there, which can get you other players. But I get what you mean. Nice calculation. Like, Arsenal turns us all to accountants and mathematicians. Like, all of a sudden, all of us know how much money is being spent, where, like, we're talking about millions, like this kind of money. None of us will ever see this kind of money. Hopefully, I mean, if some of us can see this kind of money, I'm not going to refuse. But it's like, that's a lot of money. Like, we're talking about millions. We're calculating in millions, like crazy. Football has become crazy. Like, you see this kind of money that you've just calculated there, Vusi. If this was 2003, we would have gotten Van Nistelrooy, Thierry Henry, Zidane, and Makelele. We would have gotten like 4 of those players, like, with this kind of money, like world-class players. Like, these days, 50 million cannot even get you Mount. 70 million potentially cannot even get you Mount. So the market has gone crazy. Like, in the next 5 years, I think the cheapest players will be going for is like 50 million. Like, you'll be getting a player like Rob Holding for 50 million. That's the cheapest you'll be paying. Godfrey says, please sign us Timber and have us leave Rice. I don't want to hear anything about leave Rice. Rice has to be the first signing. Like, that is the first player I want to see getting announced. Declan Rice is going to be very important. He's very important. We need a midfielder. Timber and Havertz can wait for a couple of days, but Rice, we have to get him. Like, we have to get Rice right away. I don't think Arsenal will spend that money, says Samson. Well, we have to wait and see. Arsenal fans are not patient at all. Only 5 days, says Nelly. I can agree. Yes, I'm going to agree with that point. But I also say I do understand why. I do understand. People are like, we've been patient for 20 years and not won a league. We've been patient with Vlahovic. We've been patient for Mudryk. So I do understand. But I still put myself in the side of I'm going to wait for the Rice deal. I'm going to wait for the team. I'm not going to overreact, because it's not like Declan Rice has joined Man City. Nothing. Man City have not even put in a bid. So we can take our time on that. No, not take 2 months with it. No, like the next couple of days and see what happens. Let our transfer business be completed this month. I mean, in terms of priority, maybe by July, before the preseason, so around July 12th. Anu is afraid of hijackers. Well, just change your passwords, and that's all you need to do. But don't worry about Arsenal getting hijacked. Okay, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the updates. Appreciate it. Thank you for always supporting the channel. Okay, thank you very much. If you could send that $5 for the Rice deal, would be great. But thank you, Aki, as always. Langford says Arsenal is ready for a third bid. I would expect it maybe even tomorrow, even tonight. I would not be surprised if they went in with it very, very soon. Maybe they would try 78 million plus 50 million add-ons. We never know. Kasim says Xhaka going 80%. Yes, he's going to go. The only thing you're waiting for is for Arsenal to sign a midfielder, and then they'll let him go. Tactical says we are not spending 250 million. I actually think we are. If you get Rice and Havertz, that is already close to 160 million. And if we add, and you're not going to only sign 2 players, remember that tactical. Timber, they already rejected 30 million. If you give them 40, that's already 200 million. That's 3 players. I think they're going to bring in at least 5 players. So I think we're going to get close to that money. It might not be from the pocket. It might also be from sales. If you sell Nketiah or sell Xhaka, it might not be from the pocket, but I do think we're going to spend that money this time round. I'm sure they know. I'm sure they're not stupid. They know we are back in the Champions League. We're not going to play Dundalk and Bodo Glimt anymore. We are in Malmo and all these guys. We are now going to go away to PSG. We are going to play Bayern Munich, going to play Barcelona, all these guys. So I'm sure they know they have to spend that kind of money. Especially now, considering that Xhaka and Partey could leave, you have to spend that money. Rice and Partey can make a solid midfield, 100% Simon, but I'm kind of scared we might not see that exact combination. Everyone knows Rice is overpriced. That is true. He is overpriced. But so is everyone else, to be honest, these days. We'll keep saying it. Nothing is so special about this Rice guy. Overpriced, yes. Overrated, no. I think he transforms our midfield. 100% he transforms our midfield. We don't have a player like that. And the closest, Partey, he could leave. So if you sell Partey, I don't think there's too many players you can get to replace that kind of play in the team. So that would be worrying. So it's only really Caicedo and Rice in the Premier League. I don't think there's anyone else. The likes of Douglas Luiz do not match to that level. We're giving Chelsea 60 million, 210k a week for Kai Havertz. Doesn't feel worth it at all, no matter how I try to spin it. Yeah, that one will probably not make sense to anyone, but it's looking very likely to get done tactical. So I guess you just have to roll with it. You just have to roll with it and see what happens. These days, I know some of you don't trust Edu and Arteta, but these days, I think I'm their biggest fan. I think I need like an autograph from them or something, because I'm quite happy with the transfer business. So I'm not really worried about them getting Rice or getting Havertz. If it is Arteta who wants Havertz, go ahead. Let's see how it works. But there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Havertz one, because he has to hit the ground running. That price is a lot. 60 million is a lot for Havertz, and 210k a week is a lot of money. I don't think he's worth that. Yes, but if they want him, what can we do? We just have to support him when he comes through the door and hope that he helps us go to our next level where we want to win trophies. I think Arsenal is really making good moves this time. Yeah, I'm excited. I know most of you are not excited, but personally, I'm excited. I'm looking at Timber, Rice. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be perfect. Like, if you get all these players, this is going to be. We are linked to the correct players, and usually we are linked to like 40 players. This time it's like 5-6 players. So I don't want us to be linked to another player before getting these deals done. So let's just focus on these deals, and then we can move on from there. Thank you, Langford. Good one. I'm asking Arsenal is ready for third bid for Rice. I'm pretty sure you're going to hear about it in the next like 24 hours. I don't think they're going to take too much time on the third bid. This is a good way to end it. Steven says useless club. Steven wants 4 players today. Like, why are we waiting? Like, pay this money. Let's get these players. Like, send the medical guys there. Let's pay this money right away. Don't worry, Steven. I can't blame you. Let's see what happens. Just be patient. I have to use that word. Be patient with the project. Arsenal fans don't like hearing the word project. Tactical says your first video is amazing and analytical. Genius, don't think otherwise. My first video, oh no, first video is terrible. I'm Martin watching from South Sudan. I'm very sure Arsenal will bid again for the third time. Of course they will. 100%. Let's keep Partey. Let's keep up. Partey should stay, says Donald. Let's see what happens. Trust the process, says Chokon. You're going to annoy a lot of Arsenal fans, Chokon. People don't. Arsenal fans don't like the words process and project. Like, those two words haunt Arsenal fans. But we're getting there. We are getting there. I'm sure we're going to get a deal done this week. If you don't get a deal done this week, then you can get a bit mad and scared. But I'm pretty sure you're going to get a deal done. I'm very sure the Rice one will be done very soon, in the next couple of days. Let's get Rice, says Letty. Why not? Let's get Rice. So we've been going for almost 1 hour. Thank you for watching. If we hear any other piece of news tonight, we'll be doing a video for it. But if not, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.